Hey, hey boys and girls. So for math today, we're just going to kind of review what the video yesterday was about. And so yesterday you watched the video on how to find the area of an irregular shape. Now remember, an irregular shape is a shape that is not just a square or a rectangle. It might look like two squares put together or two rectangles put together. It could be like three squares put together. But an irregular shape could look something like this. Okay, so here we have this irregular shape, and on the video yesterday they gave you some different ways that you could find the area. On the video yesterday they did not have lines on the graph paper. On here we do have lines, so you could just use the counting by one strategy. So let me change the color here. So I'm going to divide my irregular shape into two smaller rectangles. So here I could count the area. So I could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know the top rectangle has an area of 12, and then my bottom rectangle, we'll count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Has an area of 18, and then I would add 12 and 18 together because I want to add the area of my two smaller rectangles to find the area of the larger irregular shape. So 2 ones plus 8 ones equals 10. I can regroup my ones into a unit of group of 10. And I have 10 ones, or 10 tens plus 10 tens plus 10 tens, which gives me 30 tens. So then we say the area of this shape is equal to 30 square units. Yeah, all right, boys and girls. So one way you can find the area of an irregular shape is just to count the squares in the shape. That would be the easiest way if you're not quite sure how to do it the other ways. The other ways we've talked about are, let me get a shape drawn here. Oh, this is kind of a big one. Here I have my irregular shape. That means it is not just a rectangle with 4 straight sides. So I'm going to split it into 2 smaller rectangles like so. And I can see that my top rectangle, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows with 1, 2, 3 in each row. So I can either skip count to find my area. So I'd skip count by 3. So I'd have 3, 6, 9, 12. So I know that the area of this one is 12, so I could use the skip counting strategy, or I could use my length times width formula. So I know my length here is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 units down, and then my width is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 6 units across. So then I could just take 4 times 6, which equals 24, to find the area of this rectangle. So this area is equal to 24. And now I know the area of my 2 smaller rectangles. So I'm going to add those 2 smaller rectangles together to find the area of the whole irregular shape. So I have 12 plus 24. So I have 2 ones plus 4 ones equals 6. And 1 10 plus 2 tens equals 3 tens, which gives me an area of 36 square units. Hey boys and girls, I'm going to show you one more time how to find the area of an irregular shape using the graph paper. So here's my, here's my shape. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is to cut it into 2 smaller rectangles. I could either cut it apart right here, make a rectangle there, or I can cut it right here. So it doesn't really matter where I divide it at as long as I have my two smaller rectangles. So here I know I have a side length of 2, and then my width would be 4. Over here on this side, I have a side length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have a width of 3. So I would take 2 times 4 to find the area of the first shape. We'll call it shape A. No, that's bad. Area is A. We'll call it shape F. Okay, plus the area of my other rectangle. So plus 3 times 6. So I have 2 times 4 equals 8, plus 3 times 6 equals 18. So then I would add 18 plus 8 to give me a total of 26. So my area for this shape would be A is equal to 26 square units. Okay, boys and girls, so your assignment today will be to find the area of these irregular shapes. So like I said, you have 3 different options to find the area. You can either just count by ones. So I'm going to start with this little one down here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know the area of this shape is equal to 8 square units. Okay, the other option you have is to divide the irregular shape into 2 smaller rectangles, so I'll split it up right there. And you have 2 going down, and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going across, so I could skip count by 5s 2 times, so I'd have 5, 10. So I know the area of this top rectangle would equal 10. I'll do the same thing on the bottom rectangle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2 across, so I have 3 down, 2 across. I could skip count by 2s 3 times, so I have 2, 4, 6. So I know the area of this one is equal to 6. And I would add the areas of my 2 smaller rectangles together. 10 plus 6 is equal to 16. So the area here would be 16 square units. The other thing you could do is you could multiply your side lengths together. So once again, I'm going to erase this one. Divide my rectangle into 2 smaller squares. You can see this time I divided it differently than I did the other time when I skip counted. So I have a side length of 2 and I have a width of 3. So I take 2 times, 2 times 3 is equal, don't want to do that. Try this again. So I have 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Then I have my other side length, so on the top I have 1, 2. Down the side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I take 2 times 5 equals 10. Take 6 plus 10 equals 16. So my area would be equal to 16 square units. Okay, and so then also, boys and girls, I included this weird looking one over here. You can see this weird looking shape. You might be wondering, well, how do I find the area of that one? I would take this one and divide it into 3 smaller rectangles, and then you would find the area of each smaller rectangle, add them together to find the area of the larger rectangle. So once again, you can split it up like I did, or you can split it up this way, or split them both down the side that way. So it doesn't really matter how you split up your rectangle as long as you end up with smaller regular rectangles. And the nice thing about this video is you can rewatch it as many times as you need to help you figure out the area of these shapes. Good luck! Let me know if you have questions.